Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. It is so good to have you here. If you are coming for the first time, a very big welcome to you. There's lots of content here that you can consume. I hope that you find it interesting. If you are returning to my content after watching it before, whether it's the second time, the 22nd time or the 200th time, it is very good to have you back again. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to be alerted to any new content that comes out, and you can also check out my other channels as well, which are TikTok, Instagram, and I'm also on Substack, so I write there every week. Today I really wanted to share a vision with you that has been given to me by God, and it is of the Prime Minister of the UK, Keir Starmer. So a lot of my content recently on YouTube has been about the US. We've focused a lot about Trump, the Middle East conflict, and today we're coming right back into the UK, which is my, my home place where I'm from. And I want to share with you what I have been shown. Now, it is a very, very succinct message. I've not been given a lot of information around it, but there is a bigger message here that we're being asked to consider and to really take on board, okay? And I want to give you some insight into the direction that we're heading towards and what we can expect and the changes we can actually expect. So first of all, I have been shown Keir Starmer falling. Literally, I'm being shown the image of a man actually falling on the ground, okay? That is what I've been shown, and I'm seeing people around him looking and laughing. Now, the fall is very symbolic. I've asked specifically, is this actually that he's going to have a fall on the ground? Maybe, and it's going to be captured in the news or something like that. I don't know. But no, I've been told it's very symbolic. So, the fall of Keir Starmer, or Keir Starmer falling. Okay, so it's really important that you take that on board. I'm not going to overinterpret it or attach it to what it might mean. I don't want to distort the image that I've been given, but the fall of Keir Starmer, okay? Now, whenever I really tried to get a little bit more information about the message, there was nothing else that I was being given. I was just being told that is enough information, okay? So I wasn't being given any context or any sort of timeline or what this is connected to in any way, what's going to trigger it, if this is the end of his, days as Prime Minister. I'm not being given that information, okay? But I will trust that it is going to be significant enough that when it happens, we will understand what the message means. There is a wider message here, and it incorporates a little bit more prophecy and vision into the direction that we're going through. And the message is that Keir Starmer, amongst other world leaders, are being pulled from their positions and being humbled by the divine, and it's for the world to watch, okay? So it is for their purpose just as much as it is for ours. We're really being encouraged to watch the demise of the people that have been in powerful positions, who have maybe been corrupt in some way, who maybe haven't been acting from a heartfelt place and have been acting more from an ego-based position. We are going to see people who are in positions of power that the divine is essentially deciding, no, they shouldn't be there. That isn't coinciding with where the world is going and where God wants to take the world. So they're being pulled from their positions of power. I talked about this a few years ago, where we were going to start seeing people's pants being pulled down, and the spirit world was going to basically expose all of these people. We're going to see all of the hidden corruption and the dodgy dealings and the underhanded tactics, and all of these things are going to be coming to the surface bit by bit by bit. The old systems no longer work. The way that we have run countries and run the world and actually run our lives to a certain extent as well no longer work. The direction that we're moving into is going to be completely changed. It is going to take a gradual shift as well. I'm not saying that we're going to wake up next Monday morning and the world is just this sudden glorious place and we don't have any of the old leaders in place. The deconstruction of these old systems are taking part. It is going to take time. I'm not being told how much time, but there is a gradual shift here that as time evolves, we're moving into a much better place where we are working from the heart, where we are focused on humanity, where we are focused on serving, focused on helping others, and focused on having people in leadership that want to help people. You know, if we think of the working classes and the people who are on the breadline, the people who are in the middle classes that are, you know, just getting by, we also then have the uber wealthy at the very top, and we have this perception that there isn't enough. You know, we have this perception, and we're fed this perception that there isn't enough money to go around, that there isn't enough for everybody to be comfortable, that there's, you know, there's just enough to give you enough that you're not going to die of starvation, but we don't have any more money that we can help you. We live in a world where we go to work and we think that we have to work more in order to make more money. You know, if we want more, we have to work harder for it, or we have to have a second job, or we have to get that pay rise. And the truth is that none of us need to struggle. None of us need to struggle. And we're moving into a world where that isn't going to be what the standard is. We're not going to have this hustle culture where we're all getting by on bare minimum and, you know, struggling to make ends meet, and then that there is a large divide in the wealth, where there will be uber wealthy at the top who have more than enough to make them comfortable, and then some. Okay, so what we're going to see is the wealth gap actually shifting. And I've spoke about this before. This is going to be a gradual change, but it is changing. The wealth divide is getting smaller. The rich will still be rich. There will still be wealthy people. There is nothing wrong with being wealthy. There is nothing wrong with having money. So don't be thinking that it's the devil to have that, but it's what you do with it. How are you going to allow that wealth and that position of privilege to help you to actually serve the world better? How are you going to serve humanity by having that wealth? Okay, so we're going to see the wealth divide change. We're going to see the people that are living in poverty no longer having to struggle to get by. The working classes, the middle classes, you aren't going to be struggling. We're going to see a shift in how we're working. We're not going to have to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, 70 hours a week for some of you, 80 hours a week. I know how hard some of you are working. We're not going to have to do that. The direction that the world is going in, we are going to have to start to consider actually changing our mindset about how we need to work more to get more. That's not what we need to do. Okay? Actually accept that you deserve more and you are entitled to more, and more will come to you. Okay? So God is changing things. The spirit world is working. The universe is answering you. No longer are we going to have to work in this hustle culture. We will be able to have freedom where we can work and do something that is, you know, able to filter and fulfill us, not filter, fulfill us. So it's going to meet our needs for fulfillment personally. We're going to be able to be of service. We're going to be able to have a purpose if that's what you want. Okay, so we're going to have this way of living where we can work a little bit, we can play a little bit, we can clean the house a little bit, we can cook a little bit. We're going to have so much more freedom of time. Okay, so that's the direction that we're going in. So if you think of a sliding scale of grey, okay, so we've got the darker grey on one side, and then as we move along, we're going to the lighter grey and then into the white. That is a really good visual representative of how things will be changing. It's not going to necessarily be an overnight change where the switch is flipped. It is going to be a gradual filtering down of getting rid of the darker stuff, the corruption, the ego-based leadership, taking apart all of those old constructs and changing the political systems, changing the corporate world, changing all of these things that govern over us today. And then gradually, bit by bit, we're coming into a more pure way of working. So I think of the white as being a more pure, heart-led way of working, okay? So that is the direction that we're going in. So I really hope that you have enjoyed that. I am sharing loads of content, obviously, on my YouTube channel at the moment. I am maybe going to start putting some other stuff out on the likes of TikTok and Instagram, you know, depending on how much I can get. So you could be watching this on TikTok and I'm talking about YouTube. Who knows? Who knows? But I'm going to leave that with you. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to get an alert to any more content that comes up. You can also buy my book on Amazon. It is Wisdom, Proverbs for Today. So the link is in my bio. You can go and you can buy that. It's hardback, paperback, and on Kindle. So if you are a Kindle Unlimited user, you can actually get it on there as well. Okay, but it is brilliant to be here again, and I will keep coming through and sharing information with you as it happens. And God bless.